Now, if we look at my document so far, um, this is just obviously there's no style in here at all, and this is going to be the basic, what you would think is the non-styled element of my document, right? But if I'm in Firefox and I'm using the developer plugin, and look what happens when I disable all styles. Yeah, so it disabled all styles on the page, but it didn't disable the defaults that the browser has. I mean, the browser, I didn't define any padding over here, any margin. You see, it's minute. It's only like a few pixels, maybe two or four pixels. But I didn't do that. You know, I didn't define the height of this thing. And what happens is that each browser, if we preview this in Safari now, um, let's see, there we go. Each browser is just a tad bit different, you know. First off, you notice how there's different fonts in Safari. That's because I haven't defined any font for this thing in Safari. If you look, is defined to have Helvetica 14 as its standard font, so that's what it's looking at. But Firefox has its own, what is it, times 16 as its default font size. Anyway, I don't want to dive into the topography part of it right now, but what I do want to tell you is that I want to get rid of all these margins and everything, because, you know, the other thing is Internet Explorer is going to have an even different margin completely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a universal selector. Now, universal selector is just a fancy way of selecting, it's a fancy way of saying you're going to select everything, and you do that by using an asterisk, which is pretty common in computers. When you use an asterisk, they call it a wildcard. Like when you're searching for stuff, if you put in something like asterisk.html, it's search any file name that has any file name .html, you know. So what I'm going to do is just put an asterisk and then a bracket. I'm going to do margin, set to 0, and do padding as well, set to 0. Actually, let me put a space over here, and then I'm gonna, of course, you need to close this, and I'm gonna save it. So now, as a result, let's see what happens to our documents in Dreamweaver now. See? All of a sudden, when we have all those margins are now reset. And the one good thing is that now all of these are going to look the same in different browsers as well. So this is what it looked like in Safari, because I haven't reset it yet. And again, what did we say to do this indent on this kind of thing? No, we didn't. So we just blank it out, and there we go. So this is the beginning of me trying to set this style sheet up for the broadest range and audience, you know, make it accessible to and consistent throughout different browsers.